en un lugar de La Mancha, de cuyo nombre no quiero acordarme.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good
Aujourd'hui,
fortune
maman est
must-
morte. Ou peut-être hier, je ne sais pas.
Audible's ambitious new story house in New York City's Lower Manhattan is a 3-floor bookless bookstore that offers a glimpse into the future of audiobook discovery. Welcome to The Spoken World. I'm Christopher Kenneally. The Spoken World is sponsored by Penguin Random House Audio, the team behind some of the most talked about audiobooks in the industry. James Finn, Senior Vice President and Global Head of Brand and Content Marketing, explains that Audible set out to create a third space after work and home, where listeners can linger, discover audiobooks, and connect with others. Located in the Bowery, the month-long pop-up invites visitors to browse story tiles, explore immersive listening rooms, and gather around a shared love of audio storytelling. James Finn, Senior Vice President with Audible, welcome to The Spoken World.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's great to be here.
I'm looking forward to speaking with you about the Audible Story House, and I suppose the place to start, James, is with the strategic insights that led Audible to develop this in the first place, and to believe that listeners wanted a physical environment like the Story House for discovering digital audio content.
Yeah, for us, Audible Story House is in essence a bookless bookstore. It's 3 floors down in the Bowery in New York City, and it's really dedicated to listening. And what we've been seeing is audio storytelling is just growing so incredibly fast. It's the fastest area of the publishing industry right now. And we've also noticed that people are craving getting back to physical spaces, and they're looking for that third space, that opportunity to connect. And we've seen this as we experimented and explored at places like South by and Comic-Con. So this is really a manifestation of a lot of those learnings.
Well, at the Audible Story House, instead of books on the bookshelves, there are story tiles on the audio shelves, I suppose you'd call them. Tell us what story tiles are, James.
Yeah, we became interested in what happens when discovery becomes tactile again. So you walk up to a shelf, you grab a story tile, you drop it into a listening station, you put on headphones, you listen immediately, you tap the back of your phone to it, and you could listen to it in your own AirPods. And what we've seen with the whole concept of a record store or a bookstore or anything along those lines, that people want that ability to physically search and to explore. So that discovery became really important.
So in a sense, with the story tiles at Audible Story House, you're allowing people to browse audio content.
Yes, we took something that was only digital before and we brought it into a physical space.
Well, the Story House launched on April 30th, so it's still early days, James Finn. But what have you learned so far about how people interact with the story tiles and how they discover stories in audio?
It's fascinating because we're finding that people generally just want to explore. There's 3 floors in the space. You could go to the Dolby Atmos lounge that's downstairs and you get a full immersive experience. And we find that people are staying there for like an hour and a half. And then others just want to sample the title. And also what we're finding really interesting is people are visiting what we call the story tender upstairs in the listening bar. And that's where a story tender will ask you what you're interested in, maybe what you've listened to previously, and get that human curated point of view of something that you may also be interested in that may not necessarily be precisely what you've heard before, but an interesting recommendation. So there's a lot of different ways that people are engaging and exploring with it.
So a story tender at a listening bar, like a bartender at a drinking bar. Do you expect that human curation is going to play an increasing role in promoting audiobook consumption, rather like hand selling does in bookstores?
Yes, I do. And what we've been seeing that's really interesting is with Book Talk, which has been an incredible anchor in publishing and in audio storytelling, that's in essence what's happening. A lot of influencers or just fans that are passionate about books or authors or narrators are making those recommendations based on what their interests are. And that's resonating to a significant audience. So we've been seeing that definitely play a part in the experience.
And how does the Audible Story House fit into the notion of a third space, a social environment that's separate from either work or home?
We talked a lot about this internally, actually, and we wanted the place where people can linger. We wanted the place, and we wanted to design the Audible Story House so that it's not just something you're passing through, but then you can explore. We have a cafe, we have a merch store, we have the ability for you to attend different events. We're doing everything from sound baths to silent book clubs to author events. And really, the idea is for it to be truly that community hub where you can go and visit and kind of interact in a way that feels natural to you.
All right, so I have to ask, what's a sound bath?
Oh, sound bath is when it's like a little bit like a yoga class where you'll just hear a sound and it'll be complete quiet except for this sound, and it's a little bit relaxing, and it's something that you would do to kind of alleviate stress. And we have this amazing space, the Dolby Atmos lounge, that we worked with engineers in that team to really establish incredible sound in that. So we're hosting them there. You could go in the afternoon in between work.
The Spoken World with James Finn of Audible will return in a moment. The Spoken World is sponsored by Penguin Random House Audio, the team behind some of the most talked about audiobooks in the industry. From standout fiction to culture-shaping nonfiction, they collaborate with top authors and world-class narrators to create audio that connects deeply with listeners and brings powerful stories to life. To meet the award-winning team and learn how to partner with them, visit penguinrandomhouseaudio.com. The Spoken World now returns to an interview with James Finn, Senior Vice President and Global Head of Brand and Content Marketing at Audible. And so with all those community-driven experiences, the author readings and the trivia nights and the rest, is Audible courting a younger demographic with the Story House than its traditional subscribers?
Yeah, well, what we're seeing, what's interesting about younger audiences, there's no tension for them between physical and digital. They'll discover a title on TikTok. They may listen to it on Audible. They'll buy the hardcover. They'll go to a live event. For them, it's all truly connected. And for the Audible Story House, it fits naturally into that ecosystem. It gives them audio storytelling, a physical touch point inside a much bigger cultural journey for them.
And so finally, James Finn, how will Audible measure whether Story House is successful? And success, I suppose, defined as converting casual visitors into listeners and subscribers.
I'm so excited about this, to be honest with you, because usually when we look at measurement, it's pretty defined. And because this is going to be opened as a pop-up for the whole month of May in New York, there's so many ways that we're going to be able to measure, whether it's everything from engagement to what type of titles people are gravitating towards, to attendance at events, to what's showing up on social. A lot of people are going in and recording their journey and their first experiences there. Also, you could sign up for a membership. You could buy a title individually. You could buy an Auto Buddy, which is a cute little item that we're selling in our shop. So there's a lot of ways that we're going to be able to translate all of those points into learnings and insights about the customer.
James Finn with Audible, thanks so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you, Chris. My pleasure.
That's all for now. Our producer is Jeremy Brisky of Burst Marketing. Rob Simon is our executive producer. With support from Penguin Random House Audio, the Spoken World podcast covers the latest news in audiobook publishing and features exclusive interviews with audiobook industry leaders, analysts, and innovators. Learn more at spokenworld.media and subscribe on all major podcasting and streaming platforms. I'm Christopher Kenneally. Join me again soon on The Spoken World.